Hi everyone, today I'm going to be talking about some more amazing affordable beauty products that I personally believe are either just as good as or better than their high-end counterparts. We've got some old products in here that I've been trying out for quite a long time and been on the market for a long time, some new products, and I've also thrown in some dupes to boot. So let's get started. If you're new here, hi, my name's Gemma. I upload 2 to 3 videos here on YouTube every single week. I'm also on Instagram if you fancy checking me out over there, and I'd really appreciate it if by the end of this video you found it helpful. You click on that subscribe button and also the like button and the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. Now, I think this is the 5th video in this series. I will link all of the previous videos in the description box, so if you haven't seen those already, go and give those a watch after you've seen this one. And I cannot believe I haven't featured this first item because I've talked about it since it first was launched. This is from e.l.f. and it's the Halo Glow Setting Powder. Now, I did say there were some old products in here. This has got to be at least a year, maybe even 2 years old, maybe even more. This is amazing. Now, I wouldn't use this as a setting powder. I would use this as a finishing powder. I've used this on my skin today. Using it as a setting powder, it's absolutely fine. There is a slight bit of luminescence within this powder, but it's not overly sparkly that you couldn't use this as a setting powder. However, I do prefer to use it as a finishing powder to buff all over the skin after I've applied bronzer, blush, and it just makes everything completely and utterly seamless. I mean, you wouldn't know where my bronzer started and where it finished. The same with my blush, and it just makes the skin look more skin-like. It can add a different finish to your foundation. If you've got a really matte foundation for longevity and you want to just bring it to life a little bit, buffing a bit of this over the top will just make it look more skin-like. It's stunning. Now, there is a similarity between the Halo Glow from e.l.f. and the Laura Mercier, what is it called? Light Catcher Setting Powder. This is in the shade Translucent. Once again, I wouldn't use this as a setting powder. They call this a setting powder. For me, this is false advertising. This is so overly sparkly. If I used this as a setting powder, you would be able to see me from space. It's that glittery. I also wouldn't use this as a finishing powder. This would be for the high points of my face only, and that would be it. This powder frightens me a little bit. I like it, but it's definitely not a setting powder. So there are similarities between these two, but this one, I would have said, if this was a blind test, I would have said this one was affordable and this one was high-end. It would fool me. I love this one. Moving on to a foundation. Now, I will mention the foundation that I have on my skin today in just a second. It's not this one, but I cannot believe that this one hasn't made it into this series before. It was just slightly overlooked. I'm not quite sure why. Anyway, the only thing that irks me about this, actually, there are 2 things. I don't like the dropper at all. I really don't. I think it's cumbersome. I think it gets everywhere in the tube. I just don't like it. I think there are better ways to dispense this product, and I think that is a design flaw. Some people may love it. If you love this, do let me know in the description box whether you think that the dropper was a great idea and whether you prefer it to a pump, but I would have preferred a pump on this bottle. I think that I would waste a lot less product. But the other thing that irks me is the extremely high alcohol content. Now, usually I'm not offended by high alcohol contents when it comes to foundations because I've already prepped my skin, I've already protected my skin. So usually a foundation sits on the surface, it doesn't penetrate really deeply into the skin, so it's not going to cause masses of damage. However, if you do have quite dehydrated or dry skin to begin with, I wouldn't recommend using this daily because you will probably find that you will get more dehydration and more dryness with everyday wear. every now and again, this is beautiful. If you have an oilier skin or a normal skin, this is absolutely fine to use on a daily basis. The only reason that this bothers me so much is because this really does sink into the skin, which is why it's such a good foundation, because it looks so skin-like. It sinks in, it melts in, it becomes one with the skin. It's just amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So, although the high alcohol content really does bother me slightly, it's necessary for this formula to work. So once again, if you do have dehydrated or dry skin, not for everyday wear, anybody else should be absolutely fine. But it is a stunning foundation. It's one of those that you can get really sheer coverage if you want to, but you can build this up to a medium coverage, I would say. Any more, you might be pushing it slightly. I like to apply this with either a brush or a sponge. Best application with fingertips, I would say. You get more coverage using your fingers. It lasts all day on me. I would say a really good 8-hour wear. And yeah, it dries down really quickly. It doesn't stay tacky on the skin, which you would think a serum foundation actually would. This one, there's no tackiness. It does dry down. But again, that's the alcohol in the formula that allows that to happen. So swings and roundabouts. I guess you're either going to love this or you're not. I am in the love camp, but I know my limits. I know how often I can get away with wearing this before I need to stop. The foundation that I'm wearing today, I actually have no negatives to say about this foundation, which is a first for me. This is from Flower Beauty and it's the Light Illusion foundation. I adore this, and there is a possibility that this is going to feature in my best foundations of 2021. You will have to wait and see, but it's definitely on the shortlist. If you are one of those people that can't get away with wearing this every day because of the alcohol content, I highly recommend that you try this one out, because there's no alcohol, there's no fragrance, there's no essential oils, there's literally no nasties in this foundation at all. In fact, this is one of the foundations that I will allow Beatrice and her friends to play around with, because I know it's not going to damage their skin. She also loves this. She's not allowed out the house with it on yet, but she does like playing around with it. It's gorgeous. It is very skin-like. I have this on today. It just looks glowy and beautiful. I have no idea how this manages to dry down in the speed that it does, because again, no alcohol in this whatsoever, but it sinks into the skin. There is no tackiness. It's a really beautiful creamy texture, very easy to apply with either fingers, brush or sponge. It's just gorgeous. It comes in 15 different shades. It's hydrating but not overly nourishing, which means that it's suitable for all skin types. If you have an oily skin or if you have a dry skin, you should be able to get away with this. Also, sensitive skins, this is the direction that I would point you in. It has the most beautiful finish. I love it. I really love it. Are there any negatives to this? It even comes with a pump, so tick, tick, tick. Another couple of things that I forgot to mention about this foundation is that it really does blur my imperfections. That is a biggie to leave out. I mean, that is a huge benefit to have. It glides over my texture. It blurs out my pores. It just leaves a soft focus finish on the skin, which is to die for. Really beautiful. This doesn't sit in fine lines. It doesn't sit in wrinkles. It doesn't sit in my pores. Doesn't sit in my dryness. What more could you want? Again, if you haven't tried this already, I highly recommend it. I think the only place in the UK to buy this is Superdrug. I don't think I've found it anywhere else. I will link everything in the description box though. Let's do another couple of products before we jump into some dupes to end this video. This next one is from Beauty Pie and it's the Pure Ceramides Elastic Boost Eye Moisture Serum. Now, serums that are primarily for the under eye usually have caffeine in, which generally dries out my under eye over time. This one does not have caffeine in. In fact, I've actually had a problem with my under eye previously. You will find out in the next video. It's been a a little bit of trial and error, and it's, you know, it's been quite traumatic. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, this is seriously sorted out my under eyes and also my eyelids. It is just stunning. It really is. And if you are lucky enough to be a member of Beauty Pie, you can get your hands on this so affordably. It's worth so much more. It seriously is. Now, if you're not a member of Beauty Pie already, I do have an offer code for some money off your first payment if you decide to become a member of Beauty Pie. Make sure you use the offer code. It'll be far more affordable for you. Anyway, this has so many ingredients in here that are superb for that delicate under eye area. In fact, it's superb for the entire skin. Also has some rollerballs on there which are incredibly cooling underneath the eye when you're applying the serum. You only need to click this once and there should be enough serum dispensed for one eye, possibly even two. I like to do one click per eye because I like a lot of product underneath my eye because I'm a little greedy that way, but you may be able to get away with one pump for both eyes. When you first get the product, you are going to have to continuously click this until the formula starts to come out of the top. It's not broken, I promise. It will eventually come out, but usually one click will be enough to do one or two eyes. Now let me just read you what ingredients are actually in here and what it's going to do for your skin, because I've just found it revolutionary. It's got 10% pure ceramide capsules in here for supporting the skin's natural barrier. These increase hydration and elasticity while helping to trap moisture under the skin. Natural moisturizing factors and disaccharides. These combine 7 sugar-based moisturizing molecules which biomimetically mirror those found in the skin's natural moisturizing factor. Deep water brown algae, which sounds hideous, but it's a beautiful ingredient. It's rich in minerals and omega-3, 6 and 9. This is powerfully moisturizing and helps improve skin tone, texture, firmness and elasticity. So what I can say after using this is it is seriously hydrating. It's very gentle. It's not harsh under the eye at all. I haven't had any irritation whatsoever. And it's very, very smoothing. This is a great primer to apply before you apply your makeup. It's stunning. I apply this morning and night and have got great results already, even after 2 weeks. Let's talk Revolution Pro. Now, I am a sucker for buying a really good quality, luxurious, high-end eyeshadow palette, but I'm also from Yorkshire, so I love a bargain, and that is exactly what this next item is, a serious bargain, because for the quality of the eyeshadows in this eyeshadow quad, the price is seriously low. So these next couple of eyeshadow palettes are the palettes that I highly recommend from Revolution Pro. We've got the Goddess Glow eyeshadow quad in the shade Sunkissed, and then we've got the Marilyn Monroe, I think it's called White Pearl palette, which I actually have on my eyes today. I will show you swatches of both of these. There are 4 metallic glitter shadows in here. They are soft, they are buttery. The color payoff is amazing. The blendability is amazing. Just unbelievable for the price. Now, this palette here has some similar shades into the Natasha Denona Glam palette. I am not going to sit here and lie to you and say that this is the same quality as the Natasha Denona Glam palette, because it's just not. However, it's really good for the cost. And if you are on a budget, I have this on my eyes today and I think it looks stunning. If I had the Glam palette on one eye and I had this on the other, nobody would be able to tell which was which. The only difference for me was the application. You can see the difference in quality when you're applying the shadows, and that's it. There is a lot more fallout in this palette than there is with the Natasha Denona Glam palette. You can also get a lot of colour payoff with brush application with the Natasha Denona Glam palette, whereas I feel like this is better with finger application. That being said, it's definitely still worth a mention. These are stunning. For the price, they are unbelievable. And the packaging is also gorgeous. Look at that. Let's move on to a couple of dupes to end this video. This first one is one of Beauty Bay's own brand products. This is their eye base, and it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Now, I do say that this is a dupe. It's not an exact dupe. This is a lighter consistency, so less thick and creamy version of the P. Louise base. This has slight more colour payoff, so you are getting more with the P. Louise base. But this does the same job. It covers over any showing capillaries, any pigmentation, any redness, covers all that over whilst creating an amazing base that even affordable, inexpensive eyeshadows will stick to and last all day. So even those eyeshadows that tend to wear off on me, if I'm wearing a really good quality eyeshadow base, I get a lot more longevity out of that eyeshadow, and that is exactly what this is. It's a great quality eyeshadow base. This comes in 5 shades, including a white, which is shade 1. I've gone for shade 2, which is really fair. In hindsight, I perhaps should have gone for shade 3 or even possibly 4 for those deeper shadows, but in any case, it is fantastic. It's creamy. It's not as thick, like I said, as the P. Louise. Let me just show it you side by side for the P. Louise. This P. Louise base is in the shade 01, but comes in a lot of shades. And it's got really quite a thick consistency. However, with the P. Louise base, if I am not doing my eyeshadow for a while, I have to set it in place because it does crease, whereas the eye base from Beauty Bay doesn't crease on my eyelids because it's a lot less thick. It's really smooth, so I can apply my eyeshadow directly on the top of it, which adds an extra layer of tackiness to really adhere the eyeshadow to the eyelid. I absolutely adore this. I think it is an amazing product, not just for the cost. It's just an amazing product. If I had to pay more for this, I would. Now, this is also one of those products that doesn't make my eyelids sting. I have sensitive skin. I do have to be careful what I apply to my eyelids and underneath my eyes, and I don't get any irritation or any stinging with this, which I do from other brands. I just think it's fantastic. Can I say anything else about it? I don't think I can. Next dupe, and in fact the final product within this video, goes once again to Milani. Now, you may remember in the previous video I talked about the Milani Colour Fetish matte lipsticks, and I came up with a dupe for you for the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lipstick. Honestly, side by side, the texture, the wearability, the length of wear, and the shade, you would not tell the difference between the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk and the Milani. You really wouldn't. It was amazing. I'm at it again. So there is a slight difference in this one, and I actually prefer the more affordable version. Even though I adore the Wayne Goss lipsticks, they are beautiful. When it comes down to it, cost wins overall, because the quality of the Milani original Colour Fetish lipsticks are amazing. They are hydrating, they are nourishing, and they last a long time. This is what I have on my lips today. It's in the shade 110, which is Lustful, and it is absolutely beautiful. It glides on the lip more like a balm than a lipstick, but it's got the pigmentation of a lipstick rather than a lip balm. Very, very similar to the Wayne Goss lipstick in the shade Amaryllis. And let me show you the two there on the back of my hand. As you can see, the Milani, which is this one here, is slightly deeper in shade than the Wayne Goss in Amaryllis. So it's not exact, but it's very, very close. The sheen on the skin is very, very similar. And yeah, I actually prefer the Milani. There is nothing wrong with the Wayne Goss lipsticks, by the way. I love them. They are amazing. It annoys me a little bit. I have to order them from the US, and yeah, it's a little niggle. I can get this from Boots, which is in my local store, or order it online. Winner. So that's it for this video. I really hope you found it helpful. Do let me know what you've thought about it in the comments section. Also, please list your ride or die affordable makeup and skincare items that you just cannot do without in the comments section. And any dupes that you found in the past, also let me know about those as well. I may give those a whirl. I think the entire look that I've created today is pretty much, well, the majority of it is affordable makeup, and I don't think you would know. Yesterday, I tried out the Tom Ford foundation for the first time, and let me tell you, I prefer the look that I've created today than the look that I had on yesterday. £120, was it? 110, maybe? 11. Just saying. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and hope to see you all in the next video. Bye everyone.